Okay, so as I normally try to do, try to be as helpful as possible, trying to give a little bit of tips, a little bit of information to try to look out for the black woman directly out there, because primarily this is, who I'm looking at, the demographic in this video. What you're able to see is a woman that has a truck where she is giving body contouring or whatever, and she is giving fillers, injecting directly into the buttocks of the women there. And I'm just trying to figure out if she's certified, because this does not look like a person that is certified. Again, I could be wrong, but this is quite dangerous. These are very unsanitary conditions. I don't care how supposedly clean that may be. It's still unsanitary to me. Nowhere in the video did I see her open up the package of needles directly on the camera, and show where she was getting the fillers directly from, and all of it. Like I said, this is very dangerous. And the one thing that I've tried to tell a lot of black women before is that beauty is not worth losing your life, because at the end of the day, this is very dangerous, right? This woman, she's dancing and whatnot, she could be making a nice penny, a nice dime directly off of this, but at what cost? Like, what's going to happen if any of these black women catch a very serious infection, or if there has to be some type of surgery because the injections that she did, it started to have a adverse reaction with the woman, with her skin, with the muscle tissue there, with the organs. Again, I don't know what it is that she is injecting. From over the years that I've covered this, I've heard everything from people using concrete mixtures, soybean, canola oil. They've used tire filler. They've put very dangerous products into the bodies of women because women wanted to have a bigger butt, because they wanted to be more attractive, because they wanted to get more attention, directly from men. And again, as I've stated before, and I'm going to state this to a lot of women, it's not worth your health. It's not worth your life. The main beauty that you have to see within yourself comes directly from you. No man could deem or ever tell a woman how beautiful she is. A woman is supposed to be the one, you yourself are supposed to be the one to identify, find, and bring that to the forefront, right? And then the whole world is going to see it, right? The whole world is going to acknowledge that. Even if you are aesthetically a beautiful person and the whole world acknowledges that you're beautiful, you're not going to feel that internally because you haven't found it yet. Right. So this is why you have a lot of women trying to scrape and scramble and do a lot of cosmetics and doing a lot of these things, versus a lot of women who have taken the time to grow, taken the initiative to search within in order to find the value, the respect, the beauty that they have that is buried, deep within. The moment in time that you actually have that, it doesn't matter what anybody in the outside world basically states, because you know yourself how beautiful you are. So again, even if people add on to that, it doesn't matter. It's good, it's great, but it's not going to change the fact that you already know who you are, internally. And I would just wish and hope that a lot of black women would be able to sit down, find and do the work, so that things like this aren't a necessity. And I would also hope this so that the younger generation, which are, the younger girls that come after them, won't have to go through this exact same thing because they deem themselves lacking a certain type of physical appeal or beauty.
I don't even like square calling squares.
You don't know if Channing Crowder is a square.
What is a square? In a room full of square. All you squares.
What I'm telling you is, how do you know he is square?
All y'all niggas is squares.
How do you figure that?
How not? What are you talking about?
You lost me. Explain what's your definition of square?
Cause I'm a street nigga. I'm from the track.
How you know he not? Answering my question.
Because you can't have no felonies. You can't catch no charges.
To play football?
Shit. Yes. It's certain shit you can't even do to be a football player. You gotta have a certain grade point average to even play college football. All these is squares.
It's my go. Tell me when you're gonna stop screaming.
All these niggas, no, because I don't like that. How is a square calling a nigga?
You don't know. He might be a square, but you don't know if he is or he's not.
I do.
You don't know that.
He got time to podcast all day like the rest of you
He's
square ass
40-something years old.
So is the rest of us in here.
So this is what's wrong with the black community. Stuff like this, these types of conversations where you got the loudest one in the room talking about who's a square and who's not. Obviously, this person has felonies, they got priors or whatnot, whatever. Obviously, they were bad at crime. I'm just going to say, if people are good at what it is that they do and they're smart and they study, they're not going to get caught. There's a lot of people that have been on the run or never got caught for about 30 or 40 years. They were actually good at their job. You could say that a lot of people that are locked up right now were not smart. They were not good at their job, or they wanted to get caught. Either which one of the two. But again, they were not, good at their job. And as he stated the last part, where the other guy, he stated, he was like, yo, we're all something like 40 something sitting on, this couch doing, podcasts or whatnot, or whatnot, whatever. And he was like, yeah, just like the rest of us here. So I'm like, so brother, let me just understand this. You're in your 40s trying to tell people the definition of square and who's a square and who's not a square. And you're standing on this high horse of not being this square. And you're able to basically point this out. And you said, because obviously he's able to sit up here and podcast all day like everybody else out here. But brother, you're sitting up there 45 years old as a felon with a record, quote unquote, not being a square, but yet you got the time all in a day to sit on a podcast. I'm a little bit confused. I'm highly confused. And then the other thing that I'm a little bit confused on is that you have a lot of people out here that are selling drugs in colleges. They've never been caught. They've never been arrested. They've been doing this for 4 years straight, making hundreds of thousands of dollars. But yet to him, he would, on the outside, he's still going to look at them as being squares because they ain't never got caught. They don't got no trail, no record. And again, like I said before, some criminals are smarter than others. There are tiers. Like you got low-level criminals that can only, get up about a couple of $100 to $1,000. You got other criminals that can get up to 20 to 50. You got other criminals that can get up to 100 to 500K. And then you got the big time ones that can sit up there and hit millions, hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars. Like I said, there are levels and tiers directly to this, this whole thing here. But again, sometimes it be the loudest ones in the room giving the wrong types of information. This type of conversation ain't even really constructive, just to be honest, because it doesn't matter if the brother playing football is a square or not. It's the fact of the matter is that he made it out of whatever situation and he is there. Now, again, nobody knows if that brother has a body because a lot of people commit, different types of acts all throughout their life. And you won't know it up until somebody says it or up until somebody corroborates what it is that the person is stating. And then now you got to look at that person different because you don't know what can potentially happen. Now you got to walk in and watch your words differently because you don't know if your actions or your words may not have consequences now knowing what this person is capable of. See, the only thing that he is talking about is a record. He's talking about breadcrumbs. He's not talking about somebody that's just out there doing and that's good at what it is that they do to not have a trail. Like I said, it's crazy. Like I said, it's crazy. It could be an either or type of thing. You will never know up until that person tells it or somebody else that knows them from around the way decides to come out and say something. So proven point to the other guy on the podcast that told him, hey, when you stop screaming, let me know when you stop screaming. He was correct. You don't know. He could very well be a square, but you don't know because you didn't walk with him. You don't know the history. You don't know all the things that he's done. You're just assuming this because he's playing football. He has to hold up this grade point average. He can't have this. He can't have that. Again, he may be doing a lot of things. He just never got caught. He may just have been just that good at what it is that he did, to have never been caught, to have never had any type of trail. And he also may be hanging around people that's not about clout. That's not about trying to tell what it is that another person does, because as people say, street business is for the streets. It's not for social media and for everybody else to basically know what a person has done, up until it needs to be known what that person has done.